Hello everybody, how you doing? Wee Paddy from across the shotgun. Yes! Behind that, there was a little Irish bum shaking and a body in a convulsion. This is mine. This is not a loner. This is mine. And this is only possible by that man there, who is just a really nice individual. This is a man I don't know. I've never set eyes on. He's just part of the knife community. Now he's on Instagram. His name's Tony, and it's at Berg Knife on Instagram. Please go over, and after you've heard my little story, because there is going to be a story. This is not going to be a quick video. So it's probably a lot of you are going to disappear now, and that's okay, because this is an important little story, because to me, getting your grill knives, one of your grill knives, is still such an important part of this journey that I've been on. And I have been very, very fortunate, let me tell you. So I want to give a wee bit of background. I reviewed a Chris Reeve Inkosi, a brand new one that Al from UK Legal Knives had, and it was in our little pass-around group. I'd just done the review about a month ago. A gorgeous knife, but a knife I didn't think I was going to get for however amount the time was. I didn't financially have the money to buy one. I save up money to buy other knives for the channel, so it wasn't on the radar at all that I could possibly have a Chris Reeve. And look, there's nothing wrong with that. I have enough good knives. I didn't need a Chris Reeve. It was just a grill knife. Like when you come round, my first and original grill knife was a Benchmade 940 in the green aluminium. That was it. That was my grill knife that I didn't think I have. And like I started from maybe a lesser financial background than most. I didn't have much money at the time. Doesn't matter. I didn't have much money at the time. And there's a lot of people out there that don't have much money. And that's the way I started. As things have gone on, my life has changed a little bit. And I managed to accumulate a little money. I've saved money. I've got a pension through. So my circumstances changed, so I was able to get some of my grill knives. And these weren't like the 940. Yes, it's an expensive knife, but it's not what a lot of people would call a grill knife. But that to my benefit makes it even more special, because I've been able to get a couple of grill knives. And although I don't use the word a lot, they're grill in my head, and I don't really let it out until I get one. And that fist pump you seen at the beginning is genuine. I've had this knife for 2 days now. Tony, having watched that last video, contacted me on Instagram, or on the video actually, and then we spoke on Instagram on private messaging, and he says, look, I have a Chris Reeve knife. It's not a new one, it's been used, it's got snail trails on it. He was really upfront. He says, I'm not looking very much for it, I don't have a lot of money in it, would you like to do a little trade for one? And look, this man's in America. I'm over in the UK. I have never traded for that much sort of money, if you like. And I know for a lot of people it's not a lot of money, but for me it still is. It's still what I call a substantial amount of money, whether it's in a trade or not. And there comes a time in everybody's YouTube career, I think, where you have to just bite the bullet and take chances. I've not been let down by anybody so far on Instagram or YouTube in this community. Now, maybe I'm just incredibly lucky, or maybe there's just an awful lot of nice people out there, and Tony is one of them. Look, we done a swap, we done a trade, and I came out of that trade much better than Tony did, and I thank him from the bottom of my heart for it. I was able to trade him 3 knives. They weren't the value of this, especially the value of this over here. In the States, it's, a bit cheap. Well, it's about $350, say, for one of these. Over here, that's about £350, which is about £75 plus more than what you pay, or $75 more than what you pay for it. But that's okay, because it's got to come across here. It's an American-made knife, so we have to pay tax. That's how the countries run. So that said, he gave me an amazing deal, and I sent my knives off to him the next day, and he sent his knife off to me. my knives got to him in about 6 days, and his knife got to London, was tracked to London, and then went dead. It took me 3 weeks and 4 days before this actually got to my hands. And I only found out 2 days before I got it that the Border Patrol had got it and I had to pay a customs charge, which was very little, just in case Tony's worried. It was very little, nothing at all that I would even worry about. So very fortunate again than what I had to pay for it. So it's a Chris Reeve Inkosi. Exactly the same brand that I reviewed on Al's, except this is a smaller one. I loved the big one, but it was too big a knife for me to use on a regular EDC basis over here in the UK. I can't take this outside legally. I can use it when I'm on private ground or about the house or about my apartment building. I can use it, and I do with all my knives. I use them. The fact that it was used made it even better, if that's... I don't know whether people can understand that, but my first knife was this, and Jeff Jewell gifted me this. And I can remember doing a dance on video when I got this knife. You can go back and have a look at it. I was so excited when I got this knife. Exactly the same when I got this knife. And the fact that it was a user meant that I have no fear of using it whatsoever. And that's such a pressure off my head, because every knife I've got that's been a Grail knife, and there's been about 4 or maybe 5. I've always had this battle in my head: shall I use it? Shall I not use it? Shall I use it? Shall I not use it? In the end, I've ended up using them all, and that's what's supposed to happen. But it's sometimes very hard to tell your head that. Now, let's just cut to the chase. This is a 5-year-old Chris Reeve knife. Comes in one of their older boxes, Crucible CPM, and on the inside, I don't know, there might be a wee bits missing, I don't know, but it's 5-year-old, and I still have, oh, here we go. Oh, hang on, I've just dropped something on the floor. Now, I'm going to put this out of the way here. So, here's what I got. The lovely Chris Reeve knives and all the information of how to contact them. And I have the birth card. And there we go. It's the Inkosi, and it's an S35VN, Rockwell to 59 to 60 HRC, which is the higher. The old Chris Reeves were 58 to 59. This is the higher HRC. The handle's titanium, and it was born December the 22nd, 2015. Just, I never thought I'd have one of these. That is so exciting in itself. This is telling me the knife is very sharp, and the registration, which, you know, I think I'm actually going to do just for the joy of doing it. So, and it comes in this little box, the foam pouch. It still has the tools in it, the 2 tools for taking it apart. I have stripped this knife already, put new grease in it, and it also comes with the thread locker, which I haven't needed to use yet. And then you have this beautiful, beautiful knife. Now, as I said, it's not new. There's snail trails all over it, and I love them. It is stunningly beautiful. It is just a joy to have in my hand. And I'm so glad I've got the smaller model, because this will get used more. It's got the lovely, it came with it. This wasn't on. I reattached it when I took the knife apart. I'm not a great lover of lanyards, but this just suited the knife. And I thought, no, that's staying there. When I first opened this knife, how can I tell you? I have lots of knives now. I have good knives now. But nothing feels like that. Nothing feels like that. Al's was new and it was beautiful. It was that hydraulic feeling. But the smoothness of this little knife, and I suppose take it apart and I've just put fresh grease in it. So it is everything I expected a Chris Reeves to be. And when you're holding somebody else's, it's not quite the same, is it? It's just, I was too frightened to cut with Al's to do anything because I know how much it cost them and it was an expensive article. These knives are not cheap. These are not the knives your average man on the street is ever going to get to hold, touch or do anything. I have spent the last 24 hours abusing this knife by opening and closing it as many times as I possibly can because the feeling is wonderful. Now, like all knives, there is some faults in this knife. The thumb studs. My thumb is in agony. I don't know whether you could actually see it. It's actually swollen there where I have opened and closed it so much. And it's not loud. My wife hasn't got annoyed once. I asked her if I could have permission for a day just to open and close. There you go. It's not loud. But oh, it is just unlike any other knife I have, quite honestly. Now, I'm not saying there's other knives that aren't as smooth and aren't as good. Not by any means am I saying that. But this one is just unbelievable. I absolutely love it. If you hear voices, it's outside my window with all the windows open. It's roasting hot here in wee Ireland. So there's people out in the gardens walking about there. So that's what you hear, and I can do nothing about it. So the knife. What did I notice straight away? When I took it apart, the size of the washers in this, I'm just going to close this down now. The size of the washers come up to there. They cover the whole of the pivot area on both sides. They are huge. I have never seen washers that big whatsoever. To take apart and put together again, for a clumsy oaf like me, it was so simple. So simple, and I just screwed it up and it is dead centered, absolutely beautifully centered, and I didn't put any thread locker on it, and I didn't feel the need, and I haven't yet, and I honestly have not stopped opening and closing this, just sitting all day yesterday doing it. I was going to do the video on it yesterday, but I just couldn't. By the time I took it apart and just enjoyed it, just enjoyed having it in my hand, in my pocket. This clip is amazing in the pocket. It looks the most basic clip you could possibly have, but it is amazing in the pocket. The integral Reeve locking system is just absolutely stunning. There's a ceramic detent ball in this, which isn't in the ordinary 21s. The 21s don't have them big washers. There is differences. Different pivot, huge pivot that goes through this, absolutely huge, and it screws into a central barrel. It's just huge. You couldn't break that if you tried. The lanyard hole even has little small things like detents here so that it sits nicely down there. Everything about it is absolutely first class. What size is it? The blade length is 2 3/4 inches. The handle length is, just set that there, 1, 2, 3 3/3 inches on the handle length. To me, it is just perfect. In my hand, okay, in my hand, I can get 4 full fingers. This last finger rests between here and there. And although that looks like a sharp angle, it's not, because the fat of my finger goes in it. And I do not feel it. I have a full secure grip. Even with this lanyard hole, it's great because the top of my pinky hits that lanyard and I feel completely secure. It's just, I can't tell you how happy I am and how excited I am. Do you know, I don't even know what weight this is. I haven't weighed it. Give me a second. I'm so unorganized, and yet I tried to be organized for this video because it was such a special knife. Let me just get this and I'll just have to close it again. This lock is just so easy, and because you've got that ceramic detent, you don't have it, as soon as you break it, it is free to travel all the way down. What weight is she? 2.9 ounces, and that 2.98. Say 2.9 because that includes that lanyard on it as well, and it has a wee bead, a titanium bead on it. I'm not sure if that's the original Chris Reeves, but the color coordination is just perfect. So what can I let's give you some measurements, first of all, of other knives that are the same sort of size as it. There is a mini grip. Now, would you believe the handle on the mini grip is a bit longer on it? And I find the mini grip just that little bit uncomfortable. But when you move it up to the holding area, it is a fraction longer in the grip area than the mini grip. When I hold the mini grip down here, this finger literally falls off the back of it. Now, I can still use it. There's nothing wrong with it. This is a beautiful knife. The mini grip is a great knife. So here is another comparison. This is a UK comparison. This is the the 93mm Swiss knife. Just beautiful. The blade side's not much different, but it gives you a comparison of what sort of size it is. It's by no means a big knife. By no means a big knife. I showed you the 940, which was one of my first grails. I then got a second one, and this was gifted by Tony Meador, a ZT. And this was a sort of the three big names that you were supposed to get when you came around. And the other one that was thrown into that, which is why I bought it when I did, was a Hinderer. So there is 4 grail knives that I have. In fact, I tell a lie, I have 5 grail knives. That's my TC Barlow, GEC TC Barlow. There's my 5 grail knives. Now, I know I have a Medford, and it's more expensive than all of them, but it wasn't a grail knife. It was a knife I chose to buy nearly for the channel because I didn't want to buy a Chris Reeves. It was money that was gifted to me, not gifted. It was money when my mother passed away. It was extra money I had, and I just didn't want to buy a Chris Reeve knives that everybody else has on their channel. Not everybody else. Forgive my wording. That a lot of people have. I wanted to buy something else that I would love, and also it would be a bit different on my channel, which is why I bought a Medford. So it was never a grail knife. The Chris Reeve was always a grail knife. I just didn't think I would spend that much money on a Chris Reeve. Now, 5 grail knives. What am I going to look for now? I now have no grail knife in my head whatsoever. So if anybody wants to guess how long it'll be before I find another one, please go ahead, because I don't know at the minute. I am the happiest little Paddy you'll ever come across. Today, I am the happiest little Paddy. This lineup of knives just is everything. They are just everything. And again, they're not the best that I've got. I've got Spidey chefs that would, that'll use more than some of these now, but they are grail knives, so they'll always have that special part in my collection. So I'm going to take them away now, because it's all about this Chris Reeve knife and how much I love it and how much I'm going to use it. And that makes, that's what is going to make this knife special. It's how much I'm going to use it. And for Tony, I want him to see me use it. I want to see it on the channel. I want to do cut tests with it. I want to have it on Instagram as much as I can. And I'm going to carry this probably for at least a full week, if not more, every single day. So it's the only knife you're going to see on Instagram. Now, I might have a secondary knife, probably something like that, which is just a beautiful pairing. That is sexy. I mean, look. You can put down a picture of a page 3 model, but they're not going to be as sexy looking as them 2 knives. Or am I just too old? It's just beautiful. I'm so excited. Tony, I can't thank you enough. You're a genuine man. You gave me a deal that is just amazing. And I really, really, really appreciate it. And I hope I'm getting that across to you. So look, pop over to Instagram. Say thank you to Tony for giving me, but not just me, my channel, for other people who maybe won't get the chance to see or hear somebody swoon on about a knife that they haven't got. It's just, I am just chuffed. The grind is lovely and thin behind the edge. I can't wait to do some serious cutting. Was it sharp when it came? I hear you laugh. Of course it was. Of course it was. And I have sat and stropped it as well, just for the joy of sitting stropping it. I just adore it. So there we go. Wee Paddy now has a Chris Reeve. Did you ever, and there's Tony Meador out there and Jeff Jewell were with me from the beginning. I can't wait to hear their responses because they've seen this wee channel change from Ganzos and clone knives and San Remus to now I have just a collection of beautiful knives that I'm proud to show anybody. Not that I wasn't proud of my Ganzos, but I now have knives that can reach across the whole spectrum of a YouTube channel, and I am the most grateful little boy today. So there you go. I'm sorry if that went on a wee bit, but I am going to use this and I'm going to get back to you and I'm going to tell you whether it was comfortable, whether it wasn't comfortable, did it cut well, did it sharpen well, I wanted a sharpening on it. So there's going to be everything on this knife. Take care. Thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry I went on a bit longer than it should have done, but I'm telling you, not all days are made like this. As a very famous Irish singer would have sang. Take care. I'm away for a wee cup of tea. Bye bye now. Bye.